We brought the hood to the west side. Westside Radio.
What's going down, y'all? It's Julio G, Westside Radio. This is going to be a treat today again, man. For round 2, I had to bring my man Hazerd. The album is out right now, Hi Sox and Lo-Fi. Hazerd's back in the house with us. What's up, Hazerd? How you doing, brother?
Man, OG,
congratulations, too.
Thank you.
Congratulations. It took a minute for this situation. We've been working on the low.
Yeah.
We've been working on it on the low, but Hi Sox and Lo-Fi is out now.
I appreciate your patience in this whole ordeal.
Yeah, no, it's been fun, though. It's a great process to be a part of.
Yeah, it's been an interesting experience. I'm just happy that people seem to be receiving it well.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of good feedback from it. And let's talk about, this album itself. The producer was one producer.
Yeah.
How did you get Zapata the Ghost to do this whole record for you?
Shout out my homeboy Dodger. Man, look, so Dodger Blue A&R the joint.
Okay.
And he had, we were doing our Gaslight Boys podcast. He had invited Sapata over to the studio. I see him and I've known this dude for, 10 plus years at this point. So I'm from the campaign days, you know.
So you guys knew each other already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was like, what up, Max? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's cracking? And so we start chopping it up and then he's like, I'm just playing some beats. I was like, oh, cool. So I go into the room, try to get situated, gonna do a podcast, and he starts ringing these beats off the MPC. And I'm listening, I'm like, oh, that's cold. So I poke my head in the room. I'm like, hey, what are you gonna do with those? He's like, I don't know. I made them there. It's on my MPC. And then Dodger pokes his head and he goes, all right, look, how about all of your beats and all of your raps? He goes, get me an album that I can promote, bro.
What made you get on his beats when you first heard him? What was it about him that you said, I need to rhyme on this?
Just disrespectful, bro. They're like the type of, my face is like this right now. You know what I'm saying? That is what I felt
when you heard him. Huh?
When I heard him, I was like, what the fuck is, literally, I sat down and I heard this fool ring one off and I got up. What the fuck is that? What is that? So for me, the grimy, punchy, really boom bap beats that Zapata gave me, it's my comfort zone. I like it. It's fun. But I almost would stay away from it when I was trying to make songs because it was like, oh, well, that's easy. I could do that.
Right.
And so I thought about it fuck, if it's that easy and you could do it that well, do a project of it.
Right.
Put it out. And so far, people seem to really be liking it. But that was the thing, I think, forever. I was kind of fighting the idea of, oh, do I want to make a quote-unquote boom bap
type of record,
you know? And then I figured out, when I talk my shit on them, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's its own. I like what you had said. You're like, that's your sound, bro. Right there.
I don't know if I like the word boom bap, but it always doesn't mean that all the time. You know what I mean? To me, it's just I just like the style of the way he sampled and what he sampled. It's like, this is some raw LA, but it's on some oldies too, and it's on it has a LA old feel. You know what I mean? So that's why I liked it. But I just like his production. I want to salute him because the production is great. And I like when people do one project with one producer. Yeah. And that's what I thought was great about it. But I have to ask you, when was the first time you heard it? When it was, I know you've been hearing it because you've been working on it, but the time when it's okay, it's done now. Okay, and I'm going to sit here and listen to this thing because it's actually done. How was that feeling that first time? This is it. We're not touching it from here. That's what you're going to get. Do you remember that time when you listened to it like that?
When I heard your drops come back, and then after I got with your scratches.
Because the scratches that I did was the last thing.
The very last thing we did. So the mix after that, I heard what was pretty much was it.
It's hard though, because when you're an artist, you want to add a song, take a song. You know what I mean? It's just hard. So it's hard to okay, this is it. And you didn't care about a lot of features either. You weren't feature. No, or nothing. It's pretty much your record. It's a lot of you, pretty much.
I'm here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want people to understand that I do this shit competitively.
Okay.
And so I aim to be the best at this. That's all I care about. The no features was completely intentional.
Okay.
I could have called a couple of people.
Yeah, you could have put a few people on there.
I could have, and I just felt like kind of coming out the gate with something that, since my name has kind of garnered a little bit of noise, the first thing I'm putting out since that, I kind of wanted to be you, plant my flag and really be like, look,
Yeah, you couldn't hold it down on your own.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. And let's go through some of these songs, Hazerd. You start off the album with "To Whom It May Concern."
Yeah.
Break down what that song is about.
I knew the rhyme already, right? Mm-hmm. So just for the little homie with a lot of heart, Toolie on his hip is enough to tear the block apart. So I say in the beginning, well, to whom it may concern, I guess, right? Because I'm hoping that the music can connect across generations. I want a younger demographic to be able to find like wisdom in it. And so my thing is, I understand that sometimes you are really going to be a product of your environment and you're going to do what you have to do to survive. I just want you to know this is what comes with it. That was the reason that I said that in the beginning, and then I didn't know what to call the record, and then I was like, fuck, that's perfect.
Well, talk to me about 87 Baby.
In the beginning, I say, I usually don't dip back in the cooler after I kill a 40 this quick. It's a rarity. I chopped it up with Max. He gave me a bunch of beats. I flew to New York. I was in New York for a week. I filmed some stuff out there. While I was there, I filmed a 40 ounce. We were on the rooftop of Cookies in Manhattan, and I don't have a beat. And I'm going through my beats, and I hear that one. And I was like, that feels good for right here, right now. You know how the beat feels good.
And it's something about being in New York, bro. I'm sorry.
I'm in Times. Yeah, not Times Square. It's where the Culture House. It's called Cookies Culture House, NYC. And it's across from the Macy's, like that big ass Macy's in Manhattan. I'm sitting up top and I'm hearing a beat, and I call Sapata. I'm like, hey, bro, listen, is it cool if I use this beat for a 40 ounce? And he's like, bro, I gave that to you because like I expect you to make like a crazy record with it. And so I told him, all right, listen, can I use it for 40 ounce? And when I get back, I promise I'll do a record to it. And he was like, all right. So I got back, and he was on me every session. Hey, did you do anything to that one? Hey, did you do anything to that one? And I was like, nah, I don't got nothing yet.
He was feeling that one, huh?
And he was like, did you do anything to that one? And then finally I told him, oh, by the way, I got something done to that. Oh, for real? I was like, yeah, I can't wait for you to hear it.
Tell me about New York though. Like, what did you get from being in New York and that vibe? Because every time I've ever went, it's always been. I respect New York because it's hip hop. It's the beginning of hip hop. You know,
right?
What I mean?
Well, yeah,
but it's just their culture. It's just everything about New York. I dig it. I don't want to live in New York. I don't think I'm a New York type of person. But when I go to New York, I've always enjoyed it, and I get a vibe from that place.
Yeah,
you know? I mean, it's just I don't know. It's just something about New York, man. It just has a certain type of energy.
I was gonna say,
what did you feel about it? Coming from LA,
I would say that I oftentimes have been told that I move too quick, or I do too much, or I try to put too much shit in one day, or whatever. And out there,
it makes sense.
Total.
You're perfect for that.
Like, I love that shit.
Yeah, because that's
I was
the
out
way
there going. I was just going, bro.
One thing I'll say about New York, and I always tell people this, is different than LA, is that in New York, if they ask you for your number, you swap numbers with somebody, they expect some business out of it quickly. They don't have all day there because rent is so expensive. They don't have time. Like, they don't have a whole day like in Cali. Yeah, I'm gonna holler at you, man. You know that whole game. Let me get your number. You know, blah, 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 all that stuff that you hear. But in New York, it's like, if I give you my number, call me tomorrow. We're gonna get to talking about some money, man, and doing something. Because if not, then you out of here.
So the way that we ended up at Cookies in Manhattan was, we walk up, right? We're walking around, and we did the Times Square bullshit, and then we get over there. I want to check the Culture House out. So I walk up, and I got a lot of Cookies gear. That, shout out my boy Lucky Luciano. He's always taking care of me, like, with Cookies merch. So I'm rocking some Cookies shit. I don't know what I had on. The dude goes, "Oh, you got all the Cookies here. Do you work with Cookies?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm sponsored, like, with clothing." That's all I said, right? He goes, "What? Where you from?" I was like, "Oh, we're here from California." Come here. Within 5 minutes, I'm in the back. It's like a maze of stairs. They're taking me up. Then they took me there. They were like having a sesh, and they're like, "This is a rap artist. He's sponsored by Cookies from California." They were bringing me bags of New York weed. And that was the way that happened. It was literally, I talked to the homie. He showed me the upstairs. I showed him what I do with 40 ounce, and then he goes, "Here's my manager's number. He's expecting your call." Hit him at like 9 a.m. He's like, "Yeah, you're good to go. Come through. Ask for me. I'll take you upstairs."
Done. Yeah, that's
It's
New
like
York.
2 text messages and a phone call.
Yeah, that would have took you like 6 months in LA.
Quite literally.
The way they move over here.
Quite literally.
I mean? And there's no disrespect to the West Coast, but it's just
Look,
so what it is. It is
it's
what
the
it is,
look. It's the weather.
Yeah.
Like we're spoiled out here. Like
yeah, it's true.
you're never having a bad day. Like
It's true.
imagine being in fucking like because I was there. The weather was nice.
Yeah.
Oh, but imagine being there in the fucking snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk about and we're talking to Hazerd right now. This album is out now. It's Hi Sox and Lo-Fi. Let's talk about Man Down.
Shout out to Gil. Fucking that guy's funny. American Cholo. He kind of coined the phrase, the YouTube yada.
Yeah.
And I just found it hilarious. I don't understand why half the stuff is on YouTube sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes I just feel like certain conversations are better left behind closed doors or just even unsaid. The idea of all of that kind of dirty laundry being aired for the world to see just didn't sit right with me, just kind of foul. And so I just kind of poked fun at it, at the idea of somebody that like takes all that, YouTube commenting and shit serious.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of stuff on YouTube that I'm like, for what, bro? If it blows up in your face, who do you have to blame but yourself?
Right,
bro? But I was always told, to
shut the fuck up.
That's it. I was about to say, like, moving in silence is key,
up,
but that's really it.
Talk,
that's it, OG.
Stay out of problems, man. Shut the fuck up, man. Don't talk about
what,
man? What's wrong with you? I want to ask you something else, Hazerd. One thing I like about you is that you always bang Ontario. You always show like you and like I said, it's cool when you get to put your city on the map because not everybody's city's gonna be Long Beach and Compton and South Central, right? Because we always hear those on the songs, but it's cool when other people come out because I think LA needs to, the West Coast needs to show everybody from everywhere. You know what I mean? And it's cool that you're not like, oh, I'm from LA. I'm from Ontario. This is what I do.
Yeah, because I mean, like the way I look at it is, it's what made me. Like there's, we're doing this, shout out to Make Skate. We did the 40 Ounce Fridays Make Skate collab hat, right? And I went out and shot like a commercial in the city. We were driving around, like, you know what I'm saying? It was dope. And I kind of sat back and I looked at it. I was like, I'm kind of putting on for the city right now. Like, this is kind of cool, Yeah. And in the most humble way, like, hell yeah, that shit feels good.
Yeah,
like
I love it.
And that's why I say that shit with my chest everywhere. I'm wearing Ontario hats. I'll probably have it on tomorrow. We're gonna be shout out to Esteban Oriol. We're gonna be with him and the homie Poet King. They got a photography show and whatnot.
Let's talk about this song "Try Me" on the album.
It was one of the first ones. I think that was the first one that I finished. I was just popping my shit.
Okay.
It was really just.
That's one of them songs.
It was one of them.
Those are those fun songs. Those. How do you stay in where you need to be without just going berserk?
Yeah,
you know what I mean, you gotta when you snap, but it's got to be a limit to it. So how do you judge it and gauge it?
Fuck that! I was chopping heads, man. Like that that shit. You know what I mean? For me, when I like kind of quote unquote get in my bag, and I'm like, I'm gonna purposefully rap my ass off right now. Like I'm gonna do that.
You have a turn up knob. So
sure.
When you want to like, okay, I'm gonna turn up on this one. Like I'm gonna turn this one up.
Yeah, it'll just sometimes what it'll be too though. It'll be like I'll find one word that's got like a lot of syllables in it, and I think like I'll just kind of get like a I don't know, it's like a fucking beautiful mind, I guess. But all of a sudden I think of like 4 or 5 things that rhyme with it. You know what I mean? Oh, that rhymes with that. Oh, that's it. That's cold. I might even type that shit in my phone. I just typed the 6 words that rhyme. Wow. Real quick, right? And then I forget it. All right, and then we'll go back on all them words, and then I sit there and kind of think of a rhyme, like. And then if I know that I can really stretch it and I can start putting words together, like, let's say it's 4 syllables, and you take, I do this for the shoulders with a doctorate, the ones that got the surgical aim and get the Glock to spit. So like doctorate, Glock to spit, you know what I'm saying? Right? And that's light, but I'm saying that's kind of a decent example, I guess, because that's 3 syllables, right? And so you take like a 3-syllable word and then take 3 1-syllable words. And
who do you say like is like the main 2 or 3 that you would say, I really listen to that person?
I'll probably say Method Man. I gotta say Eminem. I can't not, honestly, as much as some people might like eye roll the shit, like it's fucking Marshall, man.
Yeah.
And then I would probably say today or like
just
all time.
Just somebody that just pops in your head and you're just like, man, I enjoy listening to this dude.
You know who I really liked listening to, and you're gonna trip on this one, but this was gonna know this is why he probably knows what I'm gonna say right now. Well, I could just sit there and just bang a lot of is fucking Pop Smoke. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'd never really heard a song until he passed. I'd heard the name, and I was like seeing stuff like in the blog pages or the meme pages and stuff, and I had seen the name. And then I hadn't really heard anything. And then, you know what it was? He had a freestyle. It was like a LA Leakers freestyle, whatever it was. Yeah. And I think that popped. And then because he was out here doing that. And then he passed. Yeah. So I think that might have been the first time that I heard him. Because that freestyle, I'm like, that's that fool. I've been hearing the name Pop Smoke. That's what he sounds. That fool sounds hard. Just like the deep voice. Because I got like a nasally voice. Yeah. So if I hear fools that like got like a real rumble, I'm like, that's it. That sounds crazy, right? Like a DMX.
Yeah, he had a great sound.
But Pop, when I heard Pop Smoke, I was like, this shit's different. Yeah. And it was a lot of the drill stuff, and I don't really rap like that at all. And I think that's probably why I enjoyed it the most.
I think it was at the moment he caught that sound, like at that moment, and his voice and the way they were doing the New York drill style, he caught. Definitely rest in peace to Pop Smoke. Yeah, let's talk about the single that we're doing right now, Tall Can Two Step.
It was this guy's idea. I blame it on my DJ. He's off camera right now. Shout out to Nympho, but this fool was bro. I love this record. I'm telling you, I love it. I'm proud of that record. I love that record. I put it on there for a reason. But it's the only record that has that kind of theming to it, right? If you want to call it a love record, I call it a real life record, you know what I'm saying? But it's the only one on the album that has any kind of real content in that direction. Okay. So for me, with Tall Can Two Step, I wanted to kind of give the fans something.
I have to ask you the title. And where did that come from?
So
because it's Hi Sox in lo-fi.
I was chasing another concept when I first started this project. What happened was I did one record, did another record. I loved everything I was doing, but I didn't feel like I was hitting the theme that I was going for. And so I'm sitting there like we're like 6.5 songs done. And I'm like, do I just throw the whole thing away? I listened to a couple of the records. I'm like, no, I'm rapping. And they sounded really raw, though. And the one thing that shout out Justin, Sir Sayer, the one thing he would do was punch my vocal up a little bit. So even when I was listening to these rough mixes, quote unquote, or these studio session bounces, I was able to hear what I was saying. So I'm listening and it sounds, I'm like, man, I'm talking my shit, though, bro. Like, this is fucking cholo poetry, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, fuck. And it just, the name came to me, like Hi Sox and Lo-Fi. And I spelled it a certain way just because I liked how H-I and the F-I kind of looked at the, front and the end of the title. And I just felt like the Lo-Fi, like, had to do with the fact that the beats were kind of grimy. You know what I'm saying? But it really was, like, ended up being the best thing possible. Because it's, like you said, it's just some raw hip-hop shit. So for me, it's like, Hi Sox and Lo-Fi, and that's it. You gonna get this gangster shit over this grimy ass production, and we gonna
that's right. Package it up, put it out for you.
We're gonna get the legendary Julio G to stamp that shit Westside Radio.
Yeah, man. Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Very honored. Yeah, very honored to be a part of it. When I heard it, I was just I just wanted to be a part of it. I was like, man, this is really dope. I just love what you're doing. And you were like, jump on it, man. Let's do it. You know what I mean? And we did it pretty quick.
We knocked it out. Shit out. Yeah. So, let me ask you a question, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So when I was here and I told you I had something and I want to show it to you, maybe I can get you 2 drops, and you said, yeah, for sure. And then we scheduled a date, brought you to the studio, right? I'm going to say this because I really want to know the answer to this question. You leaned over, you're like, yo, Haz, I was going to do it for you because I fuck with you, bro. I didn't know it was going to be this good.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, so you were really just showing up to the studio like, let's see what Hazerd did. Like,
yeah, because the thing about it is that I've always done that for artists. There's a lot of mixtapes out there that people have out in the hood. Like, probably people don't know, but they're like hood mixtapes. But I've done so many like intros and stuff, a lot of intros for like all kind of little cholito rappers, you know what I mean, from all over. But
you did a campaign. I remember when you did the gunpowder poetry.
Yeah, I've done a lot. And I just don't. And honestly, I don't even remember. Somebody posted something the other day, and I was like, oh damn, I forgot I did that. I swear, man, I am not lying to you. There's probably, I don't remember probably 80% of them, man. It ain't till I hear them and then I hear my voice on it and I'm like, oh, damn, I did do that for a little stomper from, from this neighborhood, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and then there was some times that it was even like where I would do something for like from somebody's neighborhood, and it was never about gang banging, but it was just they were street dudes, you know what I mean? And then the other dudes from the rival dudes would be like I'll know somebody from over there, and they'd be like, "Hey, Julio G, man, my peoples feel kind of like." Like, damn, you went and did that for them. And I'm like, oh, where's your mixtape? I'll do yours too. Oh, can you? Yeah, oh, okay. And then, so I even got into those situations where I had to do like 2 different neighborhoods just so nobody got mad. But it's cool because it's all love. They all show me love, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But I've always been just
Julio G, good everywhere, damn it.
I'm good everywhere, man. I can't complain. So I got a lot of love. But that's why, because if somebody asks me, hey, Julio G, could you just, it's not every single time, but pretty much 99% of the time, I'm like, all right, though, homie, let me see what you got. You know what I mean? I'll do it for you. I ain't tripping. Yeah. And I'm not going to charge you nothing. Free 99. That's what I tell everybody. I never charge nobody to do that either. I just do it because I want to help young kids, and they may not make it to the top. Yeah. But that's their little moment where they trying to do something, and I want to be a part of it to give them something. And then when you came to me, you was like, man, I like what you do, Hazerd. I'd love to work with you. But when I heard the music, I was like, oh, damn, this is kind of hard. And it was good for me because it was at the right time for me, because I just had starting this podcast. Yeah. And then I needed something to be in the streets with the younger generation. Yeah. And it was like, I felt like you helped me like introduce my voice back into like the younger generation in that way. So all those things do help me out a lot also. So it goes both ways. It's not just me doing it for the artist. Yeah. I actually need some of that back for me, because it helps me be cool with the younger crowd. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, oh, I heard him on that. Oh, that's Julio G. Oh, damn, So it works both ways. And I think that's something that we need to do on the West Coast. And especially with Latinos, we got to really support each other. That's another thing. Yeah, I support my people. I do everybody, though. It's not just about Latinos. I do anybody. Some black friends of mine want me to get down, I'll get down with them too. It doesn't matter to me. Yeah. But my people, I always want to
I get it.
Help us, because it's hard for us, because I've been through the trying to make it, you know what I mean, through the game. So I know it's a little more harder for us, so we got to stick together and help each other out. But like I said, I'm very happy to be a part of this project. It's something that, I just like to have on my wall, like, boom, I did that, you know what I mean? And
I was gonna say we have to get you one. I'm for real.
Yeah, cool little plaque to put up in here. That'd be cool.
I am.
No doubt, man. So thank you for putting me on it. I really do appreciate it.
For me, when you actually did the drops on it, but then and told me specifically, like, I was gonna do it for you, but this is fucking hard. Like, how can I be more a part? I want to be a part of this. Yeah. And I was like, shit, hosted by Julio G all the way. Let's do this. Yeah. Like, I really wholeheartedly, OG, like, I appreciate everything that you've done for me. On camera, off camera, our personal conversations, everything you've done, bro. You've been more than accommodating, OG. It's, truly appreciated. I'm just hoping that we can, like, really continue to push this project. Yeah. Get it, to the masses, get it in front of more people.
More people, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, look, me and Julio, the man's right here. Look, me and Julio will come and do your show.
Yeah, we'll come to your podcast. Come on.
That being said, if y'all got a microphone and want me to come talk shit and you would like the presence of the OG with me, we will make it happen. I was chatting with ODM. I had sent him the
check his podcast out too. Yeah. I mean, whoever wants to have a song, I'd love to go support you also, and of course I'll jump on too, and we could talk some old school hip hop or whatever. But whatever it is, let's make it happen, because this is a great project, and I think people appreciate it. Yeah,
appreciate you. Yeah, so me and the OG, we're gonna do a full press tour. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We're gonna walk around. What are we gonna do? Shake hands, kiss babies. You know what I'm saying? We signing foreheads, whatever we got to do. All right. Hazerd to the mic, Hi Sox and Lo-Fi, hosted by the legendary Julio G.
Yes, sir.
Produced by Zapata the Ghost. Again, OG, thank you very much.
Oh, man. Thank you for letting me be a part of it, man. You know what I mean?
We brought the hood to the West Side. West Side Radio.